So I'm here with Sophie Lark, who is a data planner at RAPP, and I'll be asking her some questions about her job role in the marketing industry. So, Sophie, the first question I want to ask you today is, how have you got to where you are?
So I think I got to a stage of university where I really had no idea what I wanted to do. And a lot of my friends were applying for kind of grad schemes, and I think I started to panic a bit. I just didn't really have any idea what it was that I wanted to do. And I actually did the Creative Data Academy, kind of knowing I wanted to go into marketing, but not really knowing what any jobs were within marketing particularly. And I think, yeah, I did some research, found the Creative Data Academy, and that was really a huge blessing for me. It kind of gave me 3 days of just insight into the industry and the different roles within it, and kind of helped me decide exactly where I wanted to be. And then from that, I managed to get a job kind of a few months after I'd left university, after traveling, and I'm still in that job 3 years later, having kind of changed role a bit and changed clients, but yeah, that's kind of where.
Okay,
yeah.
so you mentioned the Creative Data Academy having a say in you choosing marketing, but would you say what made you choose marketing like wholeheartedly, or was it just had an effect?
It definitely had an effect. I did some kind of work experience across different marketing roles, and I was a kind of brand ambassador for a brand when I was at university. And I think kind of what attracted me to marketing was the huge kind of scope within the industry, and the fact that it's always kind of changing, especially at the moment. There's so many different avenues you can go down within it in terms of clients, in terms of roles, and there's a lot of kind of opportunity to adapt and change your role over time. So, you know, you can go in as a certain role within an agency or a brand, and I think, you know, quite easily you can kind of change that role when you figure out what you like and don't like about what you're doing, through time.
So what would you say a day in your role typically looks like?
So a day in my role, I think, I mean, no day looks the same, which I think kind of massively attracted me to the role. I spend a lot of my time kind of in meetings, collaborating with different teams, which is another thing that I really like as a data planner. You're there at the very start of a project, so you're kind of deciding the strategy, and then you're there right from that point to right at the end when you're doing the analysis, and you're kind of wrapping up the results and the kind of measurement of any project. So I think I love the fact that my role interacts with every team. You get to kind of do the numerical analysis part, you know, kind of crunching numbers, but you also, you know, communication and presenting is a huge part to me, and kind of communicating with clients and other people. So yeah, I think that is kind of a day. I think also something that attracted me to marketing massively was the fact that most of the time there's a very good work-life balance. So I try and make sure, and RAPP are really good at making sure that everyone, you know, gets the break that they need, especially when working from home. I think that balance becomes quite a bit more difficult when you're working in your room or in your house. And so I try and make sure I go on a walk every morning or at lunchtime. And yeah, there are the odd days where you finish a bit late, but the kind of work-life balance is really good in that respect. So you're able to kind of have time to do things that you like to do outside of your job.
Okay, that's nice. So what motivates you in your role to come to work every day?
I think mostly it's the people I work with, I have to say. There's a huge range of people I work with, the huge kind of changing pace and the breadth of clients that I work on and projects. So no day's the same, as I said. I think also the thing about marketing is that no idea is a bad idea. So it's a great industry in that respect, in terms of you'll listen and you're heard no matter kind of how high up the rankings you are. And, you know, we do a lot of kind of testing and learning in marketing. And I think that therefore, you know, even if you make a mistake or something doesn't go right, there is still a learning from that. And that, I suppose, is kind of similar to life as well. So I think that's been amazing as a kind of starting point for a career, just that, you're able to kind of make mistakes, learn from them, and evolve.
Okay, next question might be a little hard one. So what are your career aspirations?
So I'm someone that's quite driven, I have to say. So I always like to feel like I'm progressing. And I love my role, and the fact that I'm able to kind of adapt and progress and work on lots of different clients is something that I absolutely love. I suppose my advice in terms of being able to do that is just to speak up. Yeah. Because if you're not going to, if you don't say something, then nothing's going to change. So I think that within reason, speak up. But I think as long as I'm kind of learning new things, then I'm really happy in a role. And that's the great thing about my role, is that I do work on such a breadth of things. Obviously, there's career aspirations to kind of move into more management type roles and manage people, because as I said, I love that kind of communication and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think within the marketing industry and within agencies, there's a lot of room to kind of change role, adapt your role, and also move up the rankings, be promoted, etc. So there's lots of opportunity.
Okay, so do you feel like you're making a change in your role?
Yeah, I think again the good thing about a data planner role is that you're there from the start to the beginning. So you have an idea with another team or something, or you're using insight to create that idea, and then you get to see how that plays out, and you're essentially measuring the success of what you've done as well. So that is, as I said, one of my favorite things about the role, is that you're able to see the change and the impact that you're having on people's decision making, etc., and how a kind of brand is communicating with their customers. Okay,
so is your role as you expected to be initially when you started?
I don't know if I knew exactly what to expect, to be honest. I've been quite pleasantly surprised, and I think I'm quite shocked that I'm still in the same role and enjoying the same role kind of almost 3 years later. I think it's always worth asking lots of questions in the interview, because you can get really quite a good flavour for a company, just for asking a few simple questions about the culture, about the work-life balance, about the client, and what you're doing in the day-to-day role. I think that's really important. I mean, there have been some curveballs working from home. I think motivation in terms of working from home can definitely kind of come in waves. But yeah, I because of constantly kind of learning new things and skills as I work across different clients and projects, I kind of think it's ever changing. So yeah, yes and no. I think I kind of, it's better than I expected, to be honest.
Okay, so what would you say are the biggest challenges that you've had to face at your workplace?
The biggest challenges, I think, I mean, there's kind of day-to-day challenges which seem huge at the time, and you feel like your life is ending, but actually, as soon as you speak to someone in your team or your manager or whoever it is, actually it just puts it all into perspective. And very quickly I learned that actually everyone makes mistakes, and it, as long as you learn from them and you don't do it again, then I think that's such a good lesson to learn. And therefore having kind of a support network and talking to your manager, I think massively help with all of those challenges, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed, just communicating with people around you. I think in terms of another challenge, I suppose it's COVID, and all of that obviously brought a challenge for everyone everywhere, but working from home, adapting to that, because I was someone that really got kind of a kick out of being in the office and being around people. So that's been taken a while to adapt to, but as I said, yeah, like getting out of the house and just making sure I have a balance has kind of, helped with that.
Okay, perfect. So that was the last question. So thank you for doing this, Sophie. It was a pleasure talking to you.
All right.
And we'll see you.
Worries.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.